Ladies and gentlemen, this week's snapshot for the Wild update is called 22w17a and brings you goat horns, tweaks to the warden and allay, and much more. My name is Sliced-Lime and I'm here to guide you through all the changes. Let's begin with the new goat horns. When a goat is performing a ramming attack and hits a log, stone or packed ice block, or iron, copper or emerald ore block, then a goat horn breaks off and becomes an item. The horn can then be picked up and used to play a loud sound that carries a great distance. There are 8 different variants of the horn, depending on which type of goat it came from. 4 variants for regular goats and 4 variants for screaming goats. The variants are called Ponder, Sing, Seek, Feel, Admire, Call, Yearn, and Dream. There's also now a 50% chance for a chest in a Pillager Outpost to contain a goat horn, in addition to the loot that was previously there. Let's talk about mob changes. The Warden's Sonic Boom attack has been tweaked in this version. It is now less powerful, dealing a base damage of 10 instead of 30, but can instead be used more frequently by the Warden with a cooldown of just 2 seconds, down from 5 seconds. The attack now also completely bypasses shield and armor protection. If the Warden kills you with a sonic attack, it now also displays a custom death message. Player name was obliterated by a sonically charged shriek, or if you were fighting a mob when it happened, player name was obliterated by a sonically charged shriek whilst trying to escape, mob name. If you kill a Warden, it now drops loot, always a single Skulk Catalyst. The allay has also been tweaked in this version. You can now see vibration particles when an allay hears a note block play. The allay hearing a note block can now also be blocked off by using wall blocks. A number of allay bugs have also been fixed, like one where an allay could be equipped with armor using a dispenser if it was already holding an item. They would also ignore which dimension their target note block was in when deciding to move, and could create ghost items when taking items from a stack and the entire stack didn't fit in their inventory. Let's move on to gameplay news. Quite a few bug fixes have happened in this version, including some synchronization bugs that caused players and some entities to appear where they shouldn't be, and paintings to be off-center. A change has been made to blocks that drop XP when mined. These blocks will now also drop the XP when blown up by a TNT explosion, as long as that TNT was ignited by a player, exactly as is the case for player kill only loot drops and XP from mobs. Skulk blocks have also had their blast resistance lowered and are now very easy to destroy with explosions. A change has been made to skulk spreading, which can now also replace soul sand and mud when mobs die on top of them. A number of bugs with skulk sensors not activating or activating incorrectly have been fixed, including boats not being detected when landing or traveling backwards, and boats and projectiles being detected even when hitting wool. Before we move on to world generation visuals and sounds, let me please ask you to get some XP by absolutely blowing up the like button for this video. That lets YouTube know that this video is explosive and should be shown to more viewers, so I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. In world generation changes, some ancient city bugs have been fixed where you could sometimes see floating blocks of types that require support. Some blocks on the light posts could end up waterlogged, and some blocks could get covered in skulk veins but never be replaced by skulk blocks. Skulk could also spread to the soul sand under the big frame in the city center, causing the fire there to be extinguished. A long list of visual bugs have also been fixed in this version, some of them in the game for quite a while. But let's start with some rather noticeable glitches that were introduced in last week's snapshots. Some blocks and items could cause the world to stop rendering entirely or chunks to vanish. That is fixed in this version. Now let's get into the small changes in this version. There was a sea fighting problem with the noses of cats and dogs, which is fixed in this version. Several other sea fighting problems have also been fixed, including around the backside of frogs when they open their mouths, and on the colors of cleric villagers. Speaking of villagers, some leftover pixels have been fixed in the hands of zombie weaponsmiths, together with other mismatches at seams in villager and zombie villager textures. Savannah zombie villagers didn't have a body texture and appeared like default villagers. That is fixed in this version. And the robes of villagers, zombie villagers, witches and illagers didn't render at the very bottom, which is also fixed. The crossed arms of Vindicators also had miscolored pixels on the inner faces. The leather cap overlay now reaches all the way around properly, and llamas now use the updated textures for chests rather than the old texture from before the texture update. A couple of bugs have been fixed with the shading and placement of the inner planes inside of mangrove root blocks. Fence items now match how they look when placed, and a misplaced pixel on the half-full armor bar icon has been moved 1 pixel to the left. In user interface news, the highlight for the selected realm in the realms screen has been changed to a checkmark, although since realms are not available in the snapshots, we won't be able to see that until the full release. And a splash text that said "Hello Russia" in Russian has been removed. Let's go through sound changes in this version. There's a new sound for a goat horn breaking off. And of course the new goat horn sounds. Ponder. Sing. Seek. Feel. Admire. Call. Yearn. And dream. The sounds of allays have also been updated. New versions for them: idling without an item, getting an item, idling with an item, having the item taken away from them, hurting, and for dying. And finally, a bug has been fixed where the narrator would not narrate chat messages properly.
Jock Cool hello world. Jock Cool says hello world.
In stability news, a crash has been fixed that happened when flying mobs entered dangerous blocks. Speaking of stability, there are a few known issues with this version. Player skins do not work at all in single player. And in the creative inventory, you might end up seeing goat horns just about everywhere. That's all for this time. Thank you so much for staying with me until the end of the video, I really appreciate it. If you want to see even more of what's coming in the Wild update, check out the video I've linked here, with things added in previous snapshots.